Hi, it's time for a fundamentals video. I haven't made a fundamentals video in a while, but I had an idea, so let's get into it. What you're looking at is a wide array of NuTone remote intercom stations, and they span a time frame from 1957 through the end of about 2015. So just briefly, we have a 2024 from 1957, we have a 2025 from 1960, we have a 2027, which would be mid-1960s, we have a 2570, which could be as early as 1961, we have an ISA 53, which would be mid-1960s, we have a 2540, also mid-1960s, we have an IS 205, which would be 1984, we have an ISA 35, which could be 1973. We have an IS 445, which would be 1996. And we have the lowly little, what is the model of this one? NPS 103WH. This is from the DMC or NM series. That's the orphan of the group. What are you going to do? They all go to different systems. The 2024 was for the 2011-2012. The 2025 was for the 2015-2016. The 2027 was for 2090s and 2064s. The 2570 was for the N2561-62. This is for the 470 or IM516 system. This is for the 2540. This is for an IM2003. This is for an IM303. This is for an IM4406, and this is for a NuTone NM100 system. And they all have different wiring configurations. Well, most of them. This is a 3-wire, this is a 3-wire, this is a 3-wire, this is an 8-wire, this is a 6-wire, 6-wire, 3-wire, 3-wire, 6-wire, and 6 or 8, depending on how you hook it up. They're all different models. Many of them use different numbers of conductors in their cables that connect them back to their individual master stations, but they all share one thing in common. And that one thing is these are all considered to be passive remote stations. So what's a passive remote station? What does that mean? That means that these on their own don't do anything. As they are right now, they're not hooked up to anything, so obviously they don't do anything. But if you were to take a group of these, if you were to take 4 more IS205s just like this one and connect 3 conductor wire to the back of them and connect all of those wires together so all 5 speakers are connected together, guess what? They don't do anything at all. That makes them passive remotes. Passive remotes also mean that there is no active electronic circuitry in any of this. There are no transistors, there are no integrated circuits, there are occasionally diodes, there will be capacitors sometimes, there will be resistors sometimes, but those are all considered passive components. So none of these can do anything on their own. They require their each individual master station to be connected to their master station to make these stations function and do what they're supposed to do. When you connect a 2570 back to its 2561 master station with a cable with 8, count them, 8 individual wires in it, when you move the switches on the remote station, what you're actually doing is you're making connections by moving the switch, and those connections are wired back to its master station where changes happen. It doesn't happen here in the station so much as it does back at the master station. Systems that have passive remote stations like these, the master station is truly like 90% of the whole system. These on their own don't do anything. That's why they're considered passive remotes. So at this point, you're probably wondering, well, why do I care about this? Well, I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people are misinformed or don't clearly understand that the majority of problems that you have with intercom systems are not caused by remote stations. Now, yes, remote stations can cause problems. You can have physically damaged remote stations. You can have remote stations with broken push button switches, or in the case of the 2570 really severely dirty intercom switches where it's more of a mechanical problem. It's not so much of an electrical problem or electronic problem. Passive remote stations, for the most part, won't cause system-wide problems with intercom systems. They cause problems with their individual remote station where the individual problem exists. And the example I'm going to use today is a real-world example. I'm trying to help a customer right now who has a NuTone IM4006 system. So it would use a speaker similar to this one with this type of styling. It's a 6-wire system. The master station has been thoroughly rebuilt and functions correctly. And he has a large system. He has like 17 stations. And on each station, you can hear the little bit of background noise that an IM4006 generates when it's turned on. And that's just the way the IM4006 was designed. They're not a silent system. There's always a little bit of background noise. He's under the impression, all on his own, that it must be caused by some problem with one of the remote stations. He has 2 or possibly 3, I'm not exactly clear, remote stations that don't seem to function correctly. One of them doesn't seem to do anything at all when you operate the buttons. 2 of them, the buttons will operate, but no sound comes out of the station. No intercom communication sounds and no music plays through those remote stations. He believes, and also I should add in here, that the background noise on the 4006 system that you normally hear in all of the other 14 or 15 stations in his house is not present in those stations because there's some problem with it. He believes that the problem with the background noise on the system is probably caused by 1, 2, or the 3 remote stations that don't function correctly, and he's absolutely wrong. There isn't any way at all that a passive remote station can cause a hum on an intercom system. Yes, it is possible that if you had a broken push button switch, it could jam up the system or something like that, but that would be exceedingly rare. It's not the common thing. A common thing would be that if you had an outdoor patio station where it's mounted on the exterior of your house and it was underneath a gutter or a downspout that overflowed every time it rained and the water washed down across the speaker, and it had been that way for 3 winters, and water had gotten inside and it had corroded the switches on the back of the station, okay, yeah, then you could have a situation where it could jam up the whole thing because you've got all this water damage and corrosion and everything going on, and it creates short circuits, and that will cause problems with any system. It doesn't cause the small types of issues that he thinks he's dealing with on his system. You have to understand, the point of this video is these types of passive remotes, generally speaking, don't cause a great number of problems with the systems that they're connected to. If you have a problem, let's say you take our 2024 here from 1957, it's a very simple station. It has a very simple slide switch. It has a very simple volume control. Do the volume controls get dirty and become staticky or intermittent? Absolutely, because they need to be cleaned, because this was made in 1957. Do the slide switches wear out? Not too much, but maybe. Do they need to be cleaned? Absolutely. So is it possible that the slide switch here on a 2024 that's connected to your vintage model 2012 intercom system from 1957, is that the reason why when you turn the master station on there's this ginormous humming sound and the radio won't play and all of those sort of things? No, most likely not. Because while this switch may not function correctly and the intercom may not work correctly from this station, either calling out or receiving a call back in, it's not the cause of the humming sound on the master station, because the master station was made in 1957 and it's still all original and it's never been rebuilt and it's way, way, way past its expected lifespan. The same thing is true for the 2027. Even though it's a little fancier style for the day, it still basically has the same volume control and a really simple switch. It's a different style switch. It can have its problems because they get dirty and oxidized, but it's not the reason why you can't get FM on your 2090 master station. You can't get FM because the thing was made in 1967 and it's time for a rebuild. The same thing is true for most all of these. Well, yes, of course, you can have a broken switch or you can have some problem like that. It's not generally the cause of major problems on a system. Now, there are, of course, some exceptions to this, but they're minor exceptions. The switches, the intercom switches on a 2570 that's connected to your 2561-62 system, these switches become excessively dirty and they don't want to spring back to their center position. This one is very sticky and it takes much longer to spring back than it should. And if the switch gets stuck halfway, the system thinks that you're standing there pushing the switch, even though you're really not. The master station will go into some form of intercom mode, depending on where it's stuck and so forth, or it will mute the radio and things like that. So this can affect the master station, but it's not the cause if you turn on your 2561 and you have a humming sound in the background, or you can't get AM, or some other problems like that. That's an old and tired problem, not a problem with this. But you have to check, you can check these things. Another good example is our little orphan model, our NPS 103 down here. This would be connected to an NM 100 or a Music and Sound DMC 3-4, and these stations have intercom buttons here, but they also have music control buttons here where you can raise the music volume, lower the music volume, you can scan through your preset radio stations and things like that. A broken switch here or a stuck switch can cause problems for the whole system because it could jack the volume all the way up to maximum, or it could lower the volume all the way down to 0, or it could cause the radio to turn on its own and things like that. These are particularly problemsome for those kind of problems because they're not made very well. If you go back here to the 445, which is for a 4406 system, it has remote music control features also, and it allows you to turn the radio, the CD player on and change stations, do all those sort of things. But these push buttons, I don't think I've ever seen one of these push buttons cause system-wide problems. Usually it would be more of a wiring issue. So to recap, these are all passive remote stations. These on their own don't do anything, and these on their own are very likely not the cause of serious and major problems with your system that's somewhere between 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. It's not being caused by one of these. If you have a feeling that your IS-205 is causing a problem with your IM-2003 intercom system and you're just dead on sure that it's the one in the master bathroom that's causing the problem, do the simple and logical thing, which is unscrew the speaker off the wall, disconnect the 3 wires off the back of the station, don't let the wires touch, keep them separated, and see if the problem goes away, because odds are it won't. I hope you found this informative and perhaps for someone it will be helpful. If it is, give it a thumbs up on YouTube because that helps us just a little bit. There'll be a banner right here that shows you how to subscribe. Go to our YouTube homepage, click on the bell, and when you click on the bell, click on it to receive all notifications. And every time we post a new video, you get a notification and you can watch it. That's all for today. See you on the next video.